see what we get here. One's a Blu-ray, and the other is a Blu-ray. Look at that man's face. Look at it.
Yeah, Once Upon a Time in America.
Now, Kyle already knows, but my favorite director of all time is Sergio Leone. This movie is fantastic. I fucking love this movie. This is one of Sergio Leone's magnum opuses, however you pronounce it.
Yeah, it's perfect in my opinion, this film. It's just, every scene has a purpose, every little bit of detail has purpose in this film, and it's just, it's so good. Like, the music is of course Ennio Morricone. I of course have the fucking soundtrack on vinyl. Yep. It's probably my favorite film score of all time. It's so good. I can't believe it never got any Oscar recognition. I heard that they filled out the paperwork wrong or something, so we couldn't get a nomination for it.
Which is bullshit. Oscar should have been like, well, that's okay because it's fucking amazing.
Yeah, so that was just like, oh my god, that just pisses you off hearing that. But this film is just, it's probably top 5 for me, possibly like even top 3, because this is one of those films that just crept up onto my like favorite films list, where at first I was like, yeah, this is probably like my top 50, and I watched it again, I'm like, now it's like top 25, and then I watch it again, it's like top 10, then I watch it again, now it's like top 3. It's like every time I watch it I just love it more and more. De Niro's amazing. James Woods is great in
fantastic in this.
Yeah,
need me some James Woods.
Trying to think, Treat Williams has like a really fucking small part in here,
and he does an amazing job with the small part because he's being directed correctly.
Yeah, and William Forsythe is in here.
Oh, boss! Oh my god!
Yeah, this is his best work, William Forsythe. It's whenever I think William Forsythe, I think this film, not Devil's Rejects like people nowadays are like, oh, William Forsythe, he was in Deuce Bigalow or Devil's Rejects. I'm like, no, Once Upon a Time in America.
The worst thing to think too is Robert De Niro was in movies like this. Bad Grandpa.
Oh jeez, don't remind me. That was so bad. Like those commercials for that or trailers. It was like, I can tell already this wasn't gonna be De Niro's crowning achievement. That was like a Paul Lynde. Oh my goodness, Robert De Niro, how did you go about doing that movie?
Oh my god, Robert De Niro. Funny. Can't do Robert De Niro's voice when I'm in an attempt. But back to this movie. I mean, it's not even a movie, it's a film. Like, I like calling movies, but there's ones that, like, in my book are film. And film are old classics that were shot on film originally. They look beautiful, and then that's why this keeps being re-put on newer versions for other people to get addicted to these type of movies. This is just, besides Once Upon a Time in the West. I mean, I love The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. It's in my top 3. Once Upon a Time in the West is my number 1 favorite film of all time. This is in my top 10, though. Once Upon a Time in America is just beautifully shot. The scenery of New York is just really well done. It shows different scenes and shit, and they're not on stage. All of them are done on location. Just production value and everything is just so fantastic on this. And let's see, I forgot. Is this 2.5 hours?
4 something.
Yeah, see, damn, way off. The extended director's cut, which I need to see still, is 251 minutes long.
Yeah.
And the theatrical cut, which recommend if you get this, watch the director's cut, is only 229 minutes. The problem with Sergio Leone in the United States was he always had arguments with the producers because they would always be, oh, Sergio, and they would just butcher his films.
Yeah, they did it to that one.
What was the other one that he had where it was like 7 hours of fucking footage for him and they just cut it to shit and like all the footage that they cut is lost?
Yeah, it might be that one.
I think it is this one,
Yeah.
which is funny that I bring that up because obviously I'm thinking of it because it is this movie.
Yeah.
And he had so much fucking footage for this and all of it is fucking lost because douchebag producers don't know how to let a great director do his thing. And
they did a lot to the cut. Like this film is not told in a linear fashion. It's flashback, and the story is like all over the place, but it all comes together really well. And yeah, the original theatrical cut for this, they got the guy who fucking edited, I think, Police Academy to edit the film, and he pretty much made the film like linear, and it does not work at all. I think Roger Ebert gave the original theatrical cut from this film like I think a star, maybe even less than a star, and yeah, they finally released it on VHS, I think back in the 90s, and actually gave it its rightful
what it deserved.
Yeah, its rightful release, and he gave it a 4-star rating. So that tells you how bad the original cut is and how it should not have been put in a linear fashion. It should have stayed to its non-linear way of telling the story, because that's how this film works. It's how you see the passion into the Sergio Leone. You see his passion in that cut, but you do not. I have not seen that cut, that first cut. Nope. I don't plan on seeing it.
Me either.
Because it's not Sergio Leone, and yeah, just stay away from that.
Because they released, I think the other one is the director's cut also, but doesn't have all the footage like this one. Mm-hmm. And so I haven't seen this copy per se, mm-hmm. but they played it on Parse, whatever the fuck you pronounce it. But on Turner Classic Movies, they've played this before, and you get to watch the whole entire thing, and it was fantastic. Mm-hmm. And then this one came out, and I want to see this finally because I've been waiting for this and all the deleted scenes and shit. And Sergio Leone is a god. Mm-hmm. Tarantino obviously idolizes him. I do myself too. Any movie that I like to make, I always like to put a wide shot like him to pay homage to Sergio Leone, just because, I mean, he only has, I think, 8 films total, 9 films.
Yeah, around there, not a whole lot.
And it's just, each of them are a fucking masterpiece. I think every single one is on the top 250 except for Duck You Sucker, which is aka A Fistful of Dynamite. Mm-hmm. But you have to type in A Fistful of Dynamite to find it, so don't type in Duck You Sucker because nothing comes up on IMDb, which makes no sense. Yeah. We'll have to talk about that movie another time, but back to this one. This one falls in the same category. Poetry on film. Beautifully shot movie. Fantastic acting, amazing directing, amazing writing. The soundtrack itself alone is worth buying separately than this because it's so goddamn good. How many embraces would you give Once Upon a Time there?
I'm giving it the full 10 there. Full 10.
Definitely. I'm giving this the full Monty over here. This is going to be 10 out of 10 embraces. Yeah. Very well deserved. The seal has been embraced with this.